Hello guys, welcome to my channel Lucid Fanfic, and if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest videos. So be sure to stick around until the end, and let's get started. Teacher POV. It was stunned silence. No one knew what to say. You could hear a pin drop if someone dropped one. Then All Might spoke up. It's scary how close spite almost became a reality, isn't it, he said. This made everyone unfreeze and look at him. All Might had Are you telling me that the video we just saw is true? Eraserhead spoke out and yelled the last part. Even Nizu was looking at All Might because he didn't know about the rooftop meeting. Nizu knew that the kid was involved in the sludge villain, but not the rooftop. All Might had informed Nizu about Izuku's past when Izuku told All Might, but hearing it from Izuku was much worse. All Might looked over to Nizu and then the rest of the staff who were all staring at him. Yes, I learned about the suicide baiting fact and bullying a few days ago. Also, the rooftop did happen. Though in this reality, I did meet Izuku a second time. I took him on for training where we discovered his quirk. He became my protege. That is why I was already close to Izuku before UA. I knew him 10 months before the UA exams. All Might said. Everyone was stunned. The rooftop, the bullying the bullying. That means Bakugo is Izuku's bully. We've forced Izuku to team up with his bully who has tried to kill him at the start of the year and has more or less kept bullying him here at UA. We've watched it happen and did nothing. We're no better than the previous teachers of Izuku's. Mike said. This caused all the staff to be worried even more. All Might, I know you were able to get Izuku in my office a few times before this event, but I want him in my office at the end of this event or the day after to try to mitigate any damage this event will cause him. Hound Dog said. All Might said he would ensure Izuku was in the meeting since Izuku has been allowing him to join. All Might has been a better supporting pillar for his protege since he now knows the full truth of Izuku's past. The other teachers still didn't know how to react, and were feeling guilty of not stopping Bakugo when he used his quirk. Nizu, we gotta do something about Bakugo now that we know the truth. We can't let them stay near each other, and I don't know if I can keep teaching Bakugo now that I know the truth. Eraserhead said. Nizu just looked at him and turned back. We will deal with it in the end. He has improved a bit, but I agree they can't stay near each other. Though that might not be a problem at the end of this event. We don't know if Izuku plans to stay at UA at the end of this. He plans to do a lot of damage in this event, and we don't know how the other students will react to Izuku. As such, Izuku may be transferring out. Nizu said. This news shocked the teachers since they didn't want Izuku leaving. Also, Nizu said something about Izuku causing a lot of damage. What do you mean about damage? Vlad King asked. The students are not used to enemies that know them and can defeat them all. Izuku is going to be ruthless in his attacks, and how he goes about getting rid of all of the hero team. He will not be clean about it. As such, the students might not like Izuku at the end of this and may outcast him. That is why we might have Izuku transfer to a different school where I would go teach to ensure I can help him. I teach here at UA because Izuku is a student here. At first, we didn't know if he would make it in, but he did, so it all worked out. All Might said. The teachers were dumbfounded once again. All Might was teaching here because his protege was here, and All Might had that much faith in Izuku passing the exams with a newly activated quirk. Hero Students POV. The students don't know how to react. Everyone was in stunned silence, just like the teachers were. Bakugo was frozen. His entire past actions were thrown out into the open by a simple video, and it was also shown outside to all of the other students. This also meant that the teachers have seen the video since they can see everything in the city. Soon the hero students unfroze, and everyone looked at him. Was that video true? Did you really do all of that? Asked Uraraka. Everyone wanted to know. However, Bakugo being Bakugo told everyone it was none of their business. It's our business. You shouldn't even be in a hero school with the stuff you've done, stated Jiro. Everyone was yelling at Bakugo. Kirishima attempted to defend his friend a bit, saying, We don't even have confirmation of the video being true. Look, Spite even claimed something large about All Might himself. How can we believe such bold claims? Also, if he really did what Spite said, then how is he in a hero school? UA would have found out about it. We need to focus on capturing Spite, and we can end this game. Remember, this is a game to win, and Spite is winning by dividing us. Kirishima said. Soon everyone calmed down a bit, but the distrust was put in place already. The trust in the group has now been fractured, and wouldn't be repaired so easily. People still wanted to know if it was true, but they had spent 1 hour arguing over it already and got nowhere. We need to do patrols for Spite. We need to find him and end this soon. Everyone split into teams and set out on patrol. Half of us will stay here and guard the base while the other half will go out and patrol the city. Bakugo yelled out. He didn't even break people into any teams really, as people just broke off into groups and they left. One team had 3 people in it. This team was made up of Shoji, Kota, and Sato. They decided to patrol the north side of the city. What they didn't know is that Spite still had his drones following them the entire time. Izuku POV. Well, I'm disappointed in the students' reactions. I thought I could make them all break apart in that one go, but they still maintain some form of leadership. I guess I will get moving and aim to kill some heroes. As I got dressed in my villain outfit, I noticed on the drones that Shoji, Kota, and Sato were all heading towards the part of the city where I am at. The nearest team that is out on patrol is currently 5+ minutes away from them. Shoji is one of my first targets to kill as well. After about 5 minutes I got changed and geared up. I have 2 guns on me with ammo since I don't want them knowing about my other explosives currently, or my grenades, or my sniper. Once I get the long-range hearing people out, the sniper will be far more useful. I moved onto the current path of the 3 heroes and waited. About 3 minutes later they got close to my location until Shoji stopped them. They pointed in my direction, and I knew he found me. They approached slowly to make sure it wasn't just a random student that is in this event. As they got closer, I powered up OFA at 25% and jumped out. "Hello, heroes. Please die for me," I said as I pulled the trigger and landed a hit on Kota's chest right above the heart. Sato then radios in the fact that I was here and requested backup. Currently, the closest hero is 8 minutes out. I quickly pocketed my gun and charged Shoji and threw him into the building, causing it to fall and him landing inside the building. Civilian robots start to run away from the site, as I then turned to Sato as he just finished charging up. We both landed punches against each other's fists, but I swept across the ground with my foot, knocking him down. I heard Shoji getting up and I turned around and charged him. I got behind him and pulled the kill knife that makes red marks across people and made a mark across his throat, killing him. Both him and Kota couldn't move anymore, since Snipe came across their earpieces and told them that they had died. Sato was starting to get up, but I made my way over to him quickly. I told All Might and Nizu I would use physiological torture, and I planned to hold true to that. I kicked Sato's leg out from him again since I powered up to 30% and bounded his arms with some rope I had. I soon bounded his feet as well. "Sorry, hero, but I need to send a message to the others. So you won't die just this moment," I said in a cold tone, which made him pale a bit. I grabbed some more rope and tied him to a pole. I had him hanging up by his feet in the air with his head towards the ground. I then moved away into an alley and waited for their support to show up. According to the drones, the closest hero team that would arrive would be Ojiro, Mineta, and Kaminari. None of them could catch up to me after this, so I was safe. For minutes later, with the next team being 3 minutes away, came Ojiro, Mineta, and Kaminari. They saw the scene that I left them and froze. They noticed that Sato was still in the game, but was hanging from the rope. Kaminari moved to untie him, but Sato yelled that it was a trap. Well, he's not wrong, I thought. I came on the roof edge and Sato yelled out my position. I had already pulled my gun and took my shot after Sato yelled. I landed several hits directly to Sato's chest, which would knock him out of the game. I knew this because whenever I killed someone, Snipe would also confirm it for me as well. All 3 of the new arrivals just screamed since I had shot Sato right in front of them. I turned around and ran off in a direction that had a clear opening according to my drones. Ojiro attempted to give chase, but I was too fast with OFA and I got away. Hero Students POV. After Spite had left the site, the other team had arrived and more heroes arrived. They saw that 3 of their teammates had already died. Soon ectoplasm clones arrived to escort them off the site, and press students were all screaming at the hero students, asking what happened and how could the heroes get killed by one killer. What are you heroes doing? This villain has bombed a building, killing hundreds of civilians, and now you heroes are dying as well. Are we safe in this city? Yelled one reporter. The police robots were trying to keep everyone back. Bakugo soon arrived, and he was pissed. Everyone was trying to get an answer out of the second team that arrived, but they were stunned silent. Then Mineta started to speak. Spite we received the backup request, and we came. We found Shoji and Koda already dead, but Sato was tied to the pole by his feet. Kaminari moved to get him down since he was still in the game, but he yelled out it was a trap. We were too late as Spite appeared on the roof behind us. He shot Sato right in front of us, and then ran off. We had to watch Sato get shot and killed off, Mineta said while pale. F. Damn it, Deku. Bakugo yelled out. Soon ectoplasm clones arrived and took the killed students away from the city. Bakugo told everyone to get ready to move back to the base. However, a taxi pulled up near them as they started to make their way down the road back to the agency. Did anyone call for a taxi? Mineta asked as he noticed the car. Everyone said they didn't, and then boom, the taxi exploded. It sent them all falling down on the ground. Some of the hero students were screaming as their hearing went silent due to the explosion being so close. What everyone didn't realize was that Korwaro and Mineta were both closer to the car, which explosives had paint in them. This caused them to be painted red. What happened? People were saying as they all got their bearings. Mineta, Kororio. They got hit by the bomb in the taxi, yelled out Kendo. Everyone looked over and saw they had a large amount of red on them. Everyone froze thinking it was real blood. However, soon 2 ectoplasm clones arrived to get the 2 students. He told them that they were Kia due to the car bomb. Snipe couldn't tell them because their earpieces in Mineta and Kororio broke, but assured the students that the red wasn't blood but paint in the bomb. The teacher took the 2 students away, leaving everyone stunned. Soon police and fire robots arrived to put the car fire out. Reporters gathered again and started yelling about how the heroes were failing and getting killed left and right. Everyone back to the damn base now before the damn Deku blows another bomb on us. Bakugo yelled. He was pissed about the bombs. He already lost 5 members of his team on the first day. Everyone started to make their way back to the base, but didn't notice that Spite was on the buildings above them. Most of the ranged hearing people were still suffering from the bomb, as such they couldn't alert everyone to him being there. Spite, however, had no plans to attack at that moment and let the heroes return to their base. Teacher POV. The teachers watched as Spite waited for the hero team to get close because they had to confirm it was him before calling it in due to the other students in the event. Then the teachers watched as Spite just destroyed the first team. They saw him take Koda out in the first shot and throw Shoji into a building. Ouch, said some teachers. Then Spite fought Sato for a bit before finishing Shoji off when he got up with a knife to the throat. Damn, the kid moves quickly with his weapons. Snipe said. The other staff agreed since Spite was killing the heroes quickly and cleanly. He had already taken 2 students out when he decided to tie Sato to a pole upside down. Why is he doing that? Asked Powerloader. The other staff agreed since it didn't provide him any benefit. It's illogical of him to leave Sato alive, Eraserhead said. No, it's not. Nizu countered. This made the staff confused. They started to ask why, but the other team arrived, and Sato yelled out it was a trap. Then they saw Spite kill Sato off in front of the other team and run away. Spite is using physiological torture in this event. He broke the trust in the hero leadership with the video. Then he is attacking their minds and morale to fight, since they have to watch their teammates die in this event. Spite is being brutal and effective. Nizu said. The staff then understood. If they had to watch someone die right in front of them, their morale would weaken as well, since they would be focused on if they could have done something different and would start blaming themselves. Then Spite called in and told them that he was going to explode a taxi near the hero team. Snipe approved it, and Nizu made sure the car wouldn't get close enough to cause actual damage, but the paint would still hit if any student were enough close when Spite set it off. They watched the taxi bomb go off and saw that 2 students had been taken out. Snipe attempted to call them, but noticed their earpieces got destroyed and knocked out. He told Ectoplasm to get his clones there quickly and informed them that those 2 were out since he couldn't. They watched as the hero team made their way back to their base quicker, but also noticed Spite above them. They wondered if he would attack again, but he didn't. Soon Spite broke off and went back to his base. Third POV. Everything was silent for the early day. The sun hasn't risen up yet either. However, evil does not come to an end just because it's an early time. As such, we can see Spite running across the buildings and getting ready for his next act. Nizu, you there? Spite called over his comms to the teacher. Yes, we are here, Izuku. What is it? Nizu asked. I'm blowing Site D any bombs. Approve, please. Spite asked. Soon Nizu gave Spite the approval, and Spite set off the bombs. Heroes Student POV. The few students that were on watch during the early morning felt the city shake several times. For the love of God, did Spite blow more buildings up? Ashido yelled. Jiro went and started to wake everyone up to get out on the sites of the explosions. Soon everyone was awake and in their outfits. Have 2 teams go to each side of the explosions and have teams patrolling the area around them to see if Spite is still in the area, but Kugo yelled out. Soon everyone was moving and the teams came upon more burning buildings. At one burning building, several students from Class 1B arrived and started to work with the fire and police robots on reducing civilian robots at the fire. However, no one really had the quirks to help put the fire out and could only watch the fire burn. The students on site were Shishida, Shota, Tsunatori, Suburaba, Tetsu, and Tokeiichi. These students were just stuck outside for the most part and helping the robots as they had to listen to the robots inside scream for help. While they were working, they didn't realize that Spite had shown up and taken some of the civilian robots hostage. He had placed a bomb between them all. Hello, heroes. Don't call for backup or else I blow the civilians up, yelled Spite. Every single hero student looked over and saw that Spite had a bomb with around a dozen civilians being held hostage. They didn't know what to do. If they attempted to move and go for him, he would kill the robots that they were meant to save. What do you want, Spite? Also, let the hostages go. Shishida yelled out. I'm willing to make a trade. 2 heroes for all the hostages. I want them to come with me. Spite stated. This left the heroes dumbfounded. I will even allow you all to figure out who comes with me. So please choose quickly or else bye-bye civilians, Spite yelled. Again, the hero students didn't know what to do. Their hands were tied. They were whispering among each other and trying to figure out what to do since it appeared like a no-win situation. If they tried to reach for their communication devices to Cal for help, the bomb would go off. If they attempted to reach for Spite, the bomb goes off. Soon though, Tokeiichi and Shota volunteered to go since the others could have a chance to fight Spite in their opinion. Only if they knew how wrong they were. Tie the hands of Shota and Tokeiichi up and then you 2 step forward near me. Any other moves will mean the hostages die. Spite stated. Soon, their teammates tied their hands and they walked forward to Spite. However, they didn't know that Spite wasn't taking prisoners. The moment the 2 heroes got in front of Spite, he powered up his quirk to move fast and pulled his gun. Bang bang, everyone froze. Sorry, I don't take prisoners, Spite said as he triggered the bomb, killing the civilians. You only sacrificed 2 of your friends for nothing, heroes, Spite said with venom in his voice as he charged the remaining heroes. Spite kept his gun out as he started to shoot at the heroes. He landed a shot on Tsunatori in the chest, but got his gun knocked out of his hand by Tetsu. Spite was left with Tetsu, Suburaba, and Shishida to fight. Shishida called in for backup and told them that Spite was at their burning building. Spite knew the closest team was 2 minutes away and he needed to work fast. So he grabbed Tetsu's arm and threw him across the parking lot at Suburaba. The moment he did this, he powered up to 40% of OFA and quickly appeared in front of Shishida, who was surprised since no one has seen Spite move that fast in training. Spite soon landed a knee to Shishida's stomach and pulled out his knife and dragged it up the hero's spine. Snipe called over and called everyone one but Tetsu, Suburaba out. Snipe also said that Shishida's wound wasn't straightaway fatal, but would have left the hero paralyzed and bleeding out. Snipe said Recovery Girl is the one that called him out. This left Tetsu and Suburaba. However, the backup was arriving in the distance, so Spite decided to fall back. The backup team consisted of Lita, Uraraka, and Azui. The moment they arrived, they were shocked at the number of deaths. They saw that only Tetsu and Suburaba were left and started to ask them what happened. The students from 1A were shocked at what their friend was doing. Spite was being brutal and ruthless. Soon other teams that were patrolling the area came in. The other teams stayed doing their patrol because of other building was still being worked on. Teacher POV. Everyone was woken up by Nizu-san. Spite was making some moves in the early morning. Dang, this kid is not laying off the hero team, 13 said as everyone watched the buildings burn. Soon though, they were shocked at what Spite did. He just put them in a lose-lose situation. Regardless of what they do, they are going to end up with dead people. This right here is a lesson on you can't save everyone. 13 spoke again. 13 was proven right when 2 heroes gave themselves up for the hostages and Spite killed the 2 heroes and the hostages. Brutal but a real possibility in life, Eraserhead said. They watched Spite fight the remaining heroes as he took out another hero student. Call Shishida out Snipe. The way Spite did the attack with his quirk on would have gone right through the spine and destroyed too much. In real life, he would be paralyzed and bleeding to death. If medical help arrived, he could live, but would never walk again, so he is out. Recovery Girl stated. This made some of the teachers tense, since that would be more brutal on the minds of the teammates and the paralyzed hero. Spite kept fighting but pulled back when backup teams arrived. So Spite has already gone through 20% of the hero team already in a day and a quarter. Dear God, Ectoplasm said as his clones arrived on site to get the dead hero students. The other teachers agreed. They all realized their mistake regarding Izuku. He was a powerful and scary person to fight long-term battles against. No one was thinking that the hero team would win anymore. They all were betting on Spite to win it all. Izuku POV. I had to leave before finishing off the teams, which made me sad. I kind of wanted a full wipeout of that entire team, but oh well. However, what is this? As I was heading towards the other burning building, I found another team. It was Ojiro, Kaminari, and Aoyama. I took a look at my drones and could see that everyone was still in their other areas. I decided I would take this team out since the closest team to them is 3 minutes out. Even if I don't get them all, I'm wiping more heroes out. I soon started to slowly make my way closer to them. I decided to use a paint grenade on this and my gun. I pulled the trigger on the grenade and rolled it over to them with some OFA behind my roll to make sure it gets there. I got out in the open as the grenade rolled slowly near them and yelled for them. Hey heroes, looking for me, I said as stood in the road right as the grenade made it to them. Aoyama looked down and yelled grenade, but it was too late. It had gone off and Snipe called Aoyama and Kaminari out. Ojiro was still, in which made me rush towards him and fight close combat against him to prevent him from calling for backup. The sound of the grenade might attract people, but they might confuse it with the sounds from the fire, so I needed to hurry. After about 5 minutes of hand-to-hand combat, I knocked Ojiro down on the ground and used a rope to tie his feet quickly because of my speed with OFA. Now hero, don't move or you die straight away. Roll onto your back and put your hands behind your back, I stated. He gritted his teeth and complied. I decided to use Ojiro as a trap and try to get other heroes. I am glad I had some duct tape and a lot of rope requested in my supplies. I pulled some duct tape out and taped Ojiro's mouth closed. I pulled Ojiro by his tail towards an intersection that a team should come across. When I got there with Ojiro dragged behind me, I tied him up against a pole on the corner of the street. I also rigged a grenade above Ojiro that the moment they try to release him, I can set it off by a wire that I have in my hand, since in an alley off across the street from Ojiro's position. I've made cuts across Ojiro's body which will cause him to bleed to death if he doesn't receive medical care in the hero's base soon. As such, I kill him regardless if heroes don't come. Now I just need to wait. I can see that my drones are following a team that is coming here. The students that are coming are Jiro, Hagakure, and Yaoyorozu. The problem is going to be, is Jiro going to locate me? I will need to control my breathing and hold my breath when they start getting closer. 1 minute away, I start holding my breath and controlling my breathing in hopes that Jiro doesn't pick up my heartbeat as I slow it down. The 3 of them are here and have spotted Ojiro and start moving over. They look at the top of the building to see if they can spot me, but I am in the alleyway this time around instead of the roofs. Hagakure takes her clothes off and moves to untie Ojiro. I can't see her through my eyes, but the drone has heat vision, which picks her up right next to Ojiro and under the grenade. I pull the pin, and a few seconds later, after she takes the tapes off Ojiro's mouth, and he screams that it's a trap, the grenade goes off, painting both of them with Snipe, calling them both out as dead. I then power OFA up and rush Jiro to take her out. Shit, he's here on US. Jiro calls through her comms. However, I'm already on her and lands a kick at 10%, which sends her into a building shop. I then pull my gun and start shooting at Yaoyorozu, who makes a riot shield to block the bullets. I just start moving towards her as I shoot, and then power OFA up to 40% and kick the ground, which causes it to break. This causes her to fall back and reveal she had a taser. However, as she falls back, I land several shots on her, which makes her drop the shield and taser. I move up quickly to her and bash the riot shield against her head, knocking her out. Snipe then calls her out since she fell unconscious. I quickly look at my drones and see the next team will arrive in 1 minute. I quickly arrive in front of Jiro as she stumbles out of the shop, and I take my knife in my hand to her throat. "Move and you die," I said in a cold tone as I grab the earphone jacks that she uses for her quirk, which is a bit painful to her. The team arriving is the one I've been avoiding for a while. It's Bakugo, Kirishima, and Shiro. "Hello, hero leader. Quite a show. You have been losing hero after hero to me. Now, what are you going to do with one of your people in my hands? Do you risk her life, or let me go?" I said to Bakugo as he arrived. His team, and he look around and see the deaths. They also see Ojiro, who belongs to a team that hasn't called in, which confirms that Ojiro's team has been wiped out. "Holding a hostage is unmanly, bro," Kirishima said. Bakugo just looked at me pissed since I've been taking his team out. Shiro is trying to look for an opening to grab Jiro, but the knife prevents that. "Deku, how about you let her go and you and I fight this out here, so I can show you your place?" Bakugo snarls out. "Oh, show my place. Like how I was shown my place in that video of mine. I was always told I couldn't be a hero. So here is the result. I decided to destroy everything that you heroes hold dear," I said with venom coming off my voice. Shiro and Kirishima looked a bit shocked that I brought the video up. "Wait, that video was real?" Shiro asked. "Yup," I responded. This made both Shiro and Kirishima look at Bakugo in disbelief. Bakugo just yelled for them to focus on the threat in front of them, which made them look back at me. Bakugo got impatient, though, and took a step forward, which resulted in me powering OFA up to 40% and cutting Jiro's neck and throwing her at Bakugo to stop him from coming after me. I then jumped on the roofs and ran away. I made a mad dash out of there faster than Bakugo could keep up with, since he hasn't seen my new speed. Snipe soon called over and called Jiro out. It seems that Bakugo had caught Jiro but didn't apply pressure, which caused Jiro to be called out since Snipe didn't do it right away. The staff wanted to give him a chance to save her, but he didn't. Teacher POV. The teachers were shocked beyond belief. It was now only hitting night time. Nad Spite had worked his way through about 64% of the damn hero team. Overall, if this was a real-life mission, it would be considered an absolute failure due to the high death count on the hero side. "He is smart in his traps and efficient," Snipe stated. "Indeed, and he is using physiological torture as best as he can. He shocks his enemies into not moving due to traps that he lays or tricks he uses. He made the first team at the fire shocked enough that he was able to get up and close and deal the damage when he killed the hostages and the first two heroes," Midnight stated. Overall, Spite was effective and brutal in his methods and was teaching a lesson really at every single turn. Never trust the villain to go through with his word. Never trust the fact that there doesn't appear to be a trap. Always check for traps everywhere. Don't let overpowered villains get close to you when you can't physically overwhelm them. So many lessons these students are being taught, but will they realize at the end the lessons that they are meant to learn, or will they push Izuku to the side? It seems Spite is going to rest for a bit of time. "Do you think he will ever hit the hero building with those bombs he placed?" asked Mike. This made everyone think for a bit, and Eraserhead spoke up. "He will likely use them tonight or tomorrow. He has taken out the long-range scouts and anyone that can replace their supplies, meaning it's the perfect time to blow the hero team's supplies and facilities," he stated. This made everyone agree, since the hero team would be forced to start taking supplies from stores or starve to death. Hero team POV. All of the heroes made it back to the base and found out about all the deaths that happened today. They were shocked that out of 39 hero team members, only 25 were left. "How do we beat him? He keeps hitting us on the patrol routes or setting off bombs that force us to respond where he can attack us," Kendo said. The Class 1B students wanted to know if Class 1A knew of a way to beat Spite, since he was their classmate. Soon it was decided that they would move in 2 large groups of 8 people, with the remaining people staying at the base, keeping a watch out. However, that would start the next day, since everyone needs to sleep. Time skip. It was now about 8 p.m., and there were no sounds from Spite. Everyone thought he was resting for the day since he attacked so early in the day. However, they were wrong. As people started to get ready for bed, the hero building started to shake as loud booms went off. Did he bomb out hero building? Is what everyone thought. Soon everyone went around looking to see what happened and discovered that their food room was destroyed, and so was the room that contained the water system to feed the building. "He took out our food and water. We only have enough left from visual looking for 2 more days. On the last day, we will have to go without food, but that doesn't solve the water problem," stated Kodai. Everyone was pissed that their supplies and water system has been taken out. They also didn't have Yaoyorozu who could help them in this situation. Then some realized that Spite had targeted the long-range scouting people and Yaoyorozu for this purpose. The long-range people can't tell them where he is anymore, and Yaoyorozu can't fix this problem. Suddenly, the cameras picked someone up outside across the street in the park. It was Izuku. Izuku POV. I decided to take a walk in the park since the heroes still had no direct evidence that connected me to the crimes. I was walking around in the park when I noticed the heroes coming outside the building over to the park. "DKU, you piece of shit. I will kill you," yelled Bakugo. "Calm down. I've done nothing wrong," I stated. Everyone just looked at me pissed, which almost made me laugh. "We know it was you. You're the only one that can pull this off, and your quirk is similar to the villain Spite's, which gives us enough proof to at least hold you for the 4 hours," stated Kendo. "Actually, my quirk is called Black Whip. Shows them a fake ID for the city. It has been reported in the news that the villain has some form of strength enhancement quirk, so I don't know why you are comparing me to the villain since we have different quirks," I stated. Everyone looked at me shocked that I went so far as creating a fake ID for this event. As such, I will be leaving now. Have a good night, heroes, I said as I walked away towards the Green Valley Stock Exchange with the hero team following me. They saw me enter the building and started to assume that it was where I was running my villain lair out of. The heroes enter and looked around and saw me sitting at a desk. "Welcome to Green Valley Stock Exchange. How can I help you, heroes?" I said with a smile on my face. Everyone just looked at me and were asking different questions. This is a legit business. Unless you have a warrant, I need to ask you to leave since you are distributing my business. "Thank you," I said as I guided them out the door and locked it behind them. The facial expressions that they had were funny as hell. I just went back to my desk and could see the heroes outside. I assumed they were waiting for me to leave, but I had set up a living area on the upper floors in an event like this. All I will have to do is trigger one of the bombs tomorrow to force them away. Teacher POV. Nizu was laughing like crazy. Did he really make a fake ID for this? How did he make a fake ID? I've zoomed in and looked at it, and it appears real. Cementos stated. Nizu was still laughing and just laughed harder when Izuku had escorted the hero team out the front door. It was priceless to see the faces that the hero team made since they couldn't touch Izuku. It just shows you even though you know who the villain is, you can't touch them if you don't get proof of their crimes. That's a bit problem with organized crime. You could know who the leader is, but are unable to touch them due to no proof or not enough proof. All Might said. The teachers were enjoying the faces that the hero team made. "I wonder if they realize that he is going to sleep in that building?" asked Mike. Everyone just said no since it was doubtful. It turned out Izuku did sleep the night there, and the heroes wasted some of their time before heading back to their HQ to try and sleep. Though it was hard since no one could take showers, and they had to be careful with their eating to ensure they survived as long as possible. Izuku POV. I am now on the 3rd day. I need to take out more of the students since I will only have 2 days after this day. I knew they were planning to break off into groups of 8 and patrol, which made things a bit tricky. As such, I've decided to go with the sniper route since I've taken the scouts out. Ideally, I want to get Todoroki and Bakugo out of the event since they are my main threats. As such, I took my sniper with me and went and staked out a long strip of road that gave me a clear view of the road. I just needed to wait for the heroes to come out on patrol. I didn't want to use the few bombs I had already planted that I had left. I need them to draw the heroes out later when they won't come out. Soon 2 hours passed, and the heroes have started to set off. One team was Azui, Ashido, Lita, Uraraka, Shiozaki, Yanagi, Rin, and Bondo. The second team was Tetsu, Kirishima, Bakugo, Shiro, Monoma, Tsuburaba, Honenki, and Fukudashi. The third team was Kendo, Kodai, Kamakiri, Kaibara, Awaze, Tokoyami, Todoroki, and Komori. The second team with Bakugo was going down the road I was watching. Soon I will get Bakugo out and leadership should crumble and cause some infighting. Hero Team POV. The hero students all separated into teams, and the second and first teams went outside to patrol. They didn't understand the slaughter that they were about to walk into that day. About 15 minutes into the patrol, the loud bangs started to go off. Everyone was confused for a second before people started to scream. Bang bang, the sounds kept going off as each person started to drop to the ground. The first person to drop was Bakugo, followed by Kirishima and Tetsu. After they fell, the rest of the team started to move around and try to hide. Bang Bang Fukudashi took a hit to the chest, and Tsuburaba took one to their side. Everyone had gotten into cover. Soon Ectoplasm clones arrived and said Bakugo, Kirishima, Tetsu, and Fukudashi were all dead. Bakugo was pissed. He wanted to charge, but Ectoplasm held him by the arm and warned him any action would result in punishment. Bakugo just screamed as he was lead off about bullshit deaths. The other teams were notified of a sniper in our areas and who was killed. The other team started to head towards them to support the first team and could hear the gunfire. As the other teams were coming up, Spite took aim and started to shoot people. Spite didn't land any of the shots and decided to retreat as the gunshots came to an end. Teacher POV. When did Spite get a dang sniper? Yelled out Vlad King. Some of the teachers were wondering the same thing as they heard the sniper shots went off. They saw Bakugo and a few others get taken out. Well, the hero leader went down. Now I wonder who will take control since Bakugo never planned for his defeat. Niza said. Some of the teachers were annoyed that the hero team never did any planning for this event since they thought it would end on the first day. Oh, how wrong they were, and now they were paying for it. Izuku POV. I decided to fall back from the sniper post and reposition. I've taken Bakugo out and want to get ready for more direct combat. I think I also want to create a bit more chaos. I decided to use OFA and break some buildings done. Smash! I yelled out as I knocked about 5 buildings down, which resulted in all the civilian robots being crushed in the rubble. I could hear the hero team coming towards the newly destroyed buildings. I wanted to wait and show myself to them for a bit. Ah, hello. Heroes. I've killed a lot of you off, haven't I? There are only 20 heroes left, and you all entered with 39. Oh, what fun. I will purge this world of you fake heroes. I yelled out. We will stop you, villain. Yelled Lita, who had a pissed expression. I think it's because of the whole fake hero stuff I've been yelling, which is relating to the hero killer ideals. Oh, how so, hero? I've slaughtered so many of you heroes, and none of you have been able to stop me so far. What makes you think that you can do it? I asked. I just started to laugh a maniacal laugh as they all stared at me. I don't really want to kill all of them right now, but let's make some chaos. I thought. I decided to charge OFA up to 35% and charged into the heroes. I grabbed Bondo and threw him into Monoma. I then kicked the ground and broke the ground. Once the ground came up, I punched the rubble and sent parts of the ground flying at the heroes, hitting a lot of them. Lita, Uraraka, and Azui attempted to capture me by having Uraraka touch me. The moment she came close, I grabbed one of her hands and broke a finger on each hand. How will fight me now without your quirk now, hero? I asked in a cold tone. I grabbed Uraraka and threw her at Lita as Azui's tongue came towards me, which I grabbed and used her tongue to swing her and slam her into the ground. This caused her to scream out in pain as Ashido came up to me. I just caused a punch of wind to happen and made her acid fly back at her, which burned her a bit, but didn't do much damage. I dashed up to her and kneed her in the stomach and took my knife and ran it across her throat, killing her. Hero Team POV. Everyone was trying to fight Spite, but couldn't get any damage into him. Todoroki even got punched back several times and couldn't use his fire since everyone else was around. As some of the 1B students attempted to capture Spite, he decided to kick the ground, causing a dust cloud in which he jumped away onto a building and ran away. He just slaughtered us. He killed Ashido as well, but he manhandled each of us, and we couldn't do anything. Yelled out Kendo. Everyone was wondering how Spite was this strong since he never showed any level of this strength in training. Soon everyone helped each other limp back to the heroes' HQ to tend to their wounds and rest for a few hours before nightfall came. They all suspected that Spite would try to remove a few more of their members by nighttime since there were only 19 hero students left now. Under half of the team that came in is left. No one was happy with the results. Even if they somehow win, they still lose due to the number of deaths at the hand of one villain. Everyone got back to the base and started to relax. They all thought about how this event has turned out and had so much regret. They were also really scared of Spite currently, since he was so ruthless in the deaths of their teammates so far. Has Spite always been like this? Thought all of the hero team members. Teacher POV. Everyone was standing up from their chairs. When was he so good at fighting? Asked Eraserhead. He's always been holding back in class to a 25% limit. If he used too much in training, he could really harm people. As you have seen, he can wipe the floor with his peers quickly when he moves the percent of his quirk up. I say he was running about 35% while his current max is 50%. All Might said. All of the staff was even more shocked. It seems we will need to have Izuku start fighting second or third years to ensure that he is getting the proper training. Otherwise, we aren't doing our jobs correctly. Stated Midnight. Nizu agreed and made a note to have a staff meeting about it if Izuku was staying at UA. Soon the day came to an end, and Izuku returned to his base to relax. Nizu, should I end this before the 5th day? Izuku asked over his communication device to the staff room. Izuku, if you want to. I think you could win any moment if you tried, but it's up to you. Nizu responded. I think I will take most of them out by the 4th day and leave like 1 to 2 left for the 5th day for dramatic effect, Izuku said. Izuku POV. I've let the heroes relax a bit at their base. I can also hear via the drones that they are seeing spite in myself as the same individual. Seems I will likely have to leave UA in the future. I knew this was a result that could happen. Might as well seal the deal then and do some mental games. I decided to get the supplies ready as I would sneak into the hero base and kill several of their members while they sleep. I've also discovered that Todoroki has assumed control barely due to his strength, which isn't the best way to get leadership. It might have proved a bit of trouble if Kendo had gotten leadership, since she could control all of the 1B students, and most of the 1A would have followed her easily. Oh well. It was past when they all normally went to sleep, and I saw only 2 people were awake. Kaibara and Awaze were the ones on night guard. I had arrived at the hero's base and went in through the roof. I soon broke my way into the base and slowly made my way downstairs. Awaze was looking over the cameras on the streets while Kaibara was looking out the front windows outside. I made my way up to Awaze with my knife and quickly covered his mouth and ran the knife across his throat. Snipe came over the comms and called him out. Kaibara heard nothing. Soon I made my way away from him since I wanted to do some mental mind games. The fact that I could have killed him but didn't will be impactful. I decided to go into the bedrooms and kill some of the students sleeping. I soon arrived in Komori's room where I placed my hand on her mouth, waking her up, but it was too late for her. I had already sent my knife across her throat, killing her. Snipe came across her in my comms and called her out. She just looked at me with eyes of terror. I had gotten into their base and killed her. I saw Shiozaki was in this room also, but I decided to leave her alive. Again for mental mind games. I avoid the room with Tokoyami and Siro in it because of Dark Shadow. Dark Shadow would find me if I entered the room and alert them all. As such, I came upon the next room. This room had 4 people in it. It had Hananuki, Bondo, Monoma, and Kamakiri. I quickly made my way to Monoma and ran my knife across his neck. He woke up, but I had my hand on his mouth, stopping him from speaking. We both heard Snipe call him out, and he looked terrified as well that I was able to get into their base without setting an alarm off. I then moved over and Kamakiri and repeated the process. They had to sit in the room in silence since they weren't allowed to alert their alive teammates that they had gotten killed. After killing the 2 people in that room, I made my way to one more room before I was going to leave. I wanted to kill 5 people off tonight without being noticed. I entered the room with Kendo and Kodai in it. Kodai was awake and was reading a book in her bed, but hadn't noticed me come in since she had earphones in. I slowly made my way to her where I threw my hand on her mouth and ran the knife across her throat quickly before she could struggle too much and create noise. The moment the knife went across the neck, Snipe called her out, and she stopped moving. It seemed she had the UA earpiece in the other ear. She turned her head at me, and I could see her face was pale. She was awake and didn't hear me, which caused much more mental damage than getting killed in her sleep would have done. I just waved at her as I walked back out the door and headed to the roof to escape. Teacher POV. The staff was waiting for Spite to make his move for the night, since he typically made a move during the day and then the night. However, we never expected this move. Did he just break into the hero base? Power Loader said while being shocked. Indeed, he also hasn't been noticed by the alarms for some reason. Power Loader, can you pull them up and see why he isn't? Snipe asked. Soon Power Loader looked the heroes' building alarms up and noticed that they had been hacked. He hacked them at some point. Power Loader yelled out. This shocked even Nizu since he didn't see anything that would show that he was hacking. Wait, I know how he did it. It's the drones he had May make. They have hacking features according to the paperwork I got from May. Power Loader said. Spite is planning for almost everything, and it's showing compared to the hero team, Mike said. Everyone could agree. Soon the teachers had to watch as Spite went from one student to the next, and was killing a hero student left and right. Why is he leaving some alive when he could kill them? Asked Midnight. It's physiological torture. When they all notice the bodies in their rooms or near them, it will tell them that Spike could have killed them as well, but decide not to. That he took mercy on them and allowed them to live. As such, their lives are in his hand from that moment forward. Eraserhead said. Correct assumption, Eraserhead. That is most likely what Spite is doing. It's also very good at destroying their will to fight and not to just give up since they aren't safe even in their own base. Niza said. Soon they saw Spite arrive at Kodai's room with her awake. They watched as Spite jumped Kodai and soon killed her. That girl is going to have nightmares of that, Hound Dog said. The rest of the teachers could agree as well. Hero Team POV. About 30 minutes after Spite left the hero base, Ectoplasm arrived and woke everyone up. He told Kaibara that he was there to retrieve the dead, which shocked the student. Ectoplasm pointed behind the student, and the student just screamed when he saw Wei's dead. This woke everyone up, which caused a chain reaction of screams when people found their teammates dead in the same room as them. The hero base was in chaos. How did he get into the base? Was screamed Kendo, who wanted to know how her roommate Kodai died. The heroes had to watch as their dead teammates were taken away by the teacher and could do nothing about it. The 15 hero students that remained no longer felt safe in their own base. After calming down a bit, it was decided that they would be grouped up in a team of 5 to help ensure that if Spike came back, then he would have to fight a large group. No one was to sleep alone or be up alone in a section of the base by themselves. However, soon they heard fire robots outside. They moved to the windows to see what was going on, and then they saw what Spite had left them for the night. It was a message that was burning on the ground. Why couldn't you save them? The message said in red paint, as it had a burning fire around it. Everyone had that message in their mind. Why couldn't we save anyone? Aren't we heroes? Thought everyone left alive. Spite was breaking their minds piece by piece, and there was nothing they could do to stop him. Teacher POV. It's day 4. Spite said he would start killing most of them that remain off today and leave only a few left for the last day. Any idea for what he will do for the last day? Vlad King asked. No one had any guess except Nizu. I think he will burn the hero agency building down once he gets the remaining heroes out of it on the last day, and then force them to watch it burn. He then will likely set bombs off across the entire city, burning it to the ground, and force the remaining heroes to watch as a statement to their failure. Niza said. The staff was stunned silent because that would be really brutal for the last day heroes to watch their agency and the entire city to burn before being killed off. However, it would send the message of knowing when to give up and fall back for more support. Ideally, once they had lost so many heroes in the real world, they would have requested for a large number of heroes to back them up and get top 10 heroes to help put the villain down. Otherwise, they would just be feeding the fame of the villain and only make his grasp on the underworld stronger. The teachers knew that they would need to talk to the students through this event and make sure they learned the lesson. They also needed to see how bad Izuku would be outcast by the students. Hero Team POV. It was now the next day for the hero team. Day 4, and they were now starting to run out of food. They could get water from other businesses by refilling their containers for drinking and cooking water, but none of them have had showers. The hero team has stayed in their groups of 5s and not really split up. However, soon they were forced to get moving as large explosions rocked the city. The alarms said 2 buildings blew up next to each other about 2 blocks away from their building. It's going to be a trap, but we have no choice to go and help save people, Kendo said. Everyone agreed. It has always been a trap when they left the base to respond to these. About 30 minutes later, the entire hero team was at the burning buildings and trying to put them out. The fire had spread to other buildings, and now 5 buildings were on fire. The entire city fire robots were at the site working on the fire. The heroes were stressed since Spite hasn't attacked, yet which was unnormal. About 3 hours after they arrived, the fires were controlled and being put out. The fire robots allowed the hero team to leave. Was it just a diversion to something else? Asked Zero. Soon they all heard a bang as Zero fell down to the ground. Sniper! Yelled Todoroki. He had everyone get behind cover, but they didn't hear any more gunshots. They were wondering if Spite was waiting for them to peek, but Dark Shadow peeked his head out since he couldn't be considered dead unless his Tokoyami was killed. Dark Shadow said he couldn't see anyone. Then a sliding noise was heard as they all turned, and saw 2 grenades slide to them. "Grenades!" yelled Dark Shadow as he tried to cover the closest one, but it had already gone off. It had painted Tokoyami, and the other grenade had painted Yanagi. "I think he was waiting for us to be overstressed and tired from putting the fire out," yelled Lita. "Correct assumption, hero," stated Spite as the hero team saw him attacking Todoroki and kicking him across the street with a 35% OFA kick. Everyone tried to attack Spite, but he was moving so fast. Soon Spite started to fall back into an alley which Rin and Bondo attempted to follow him into. "Wait, it might be a trap," Kendo yelled out. However, it was too late. They had run across a tripwire that set off 2 paint explosives that painted them completely. The hero team was in shock as they just saw 2 of their teammates get painted. If that had been real, then there wouldn't be anything left of them, is what everyone thought. Oh, so foolish heroes. Always falling for simple traps. Spite laughed out. "This isn't funny. You are murdering people for no reason." Uraraka yelled out with tears in her eyes. "No reasons? I think I have enough reason to slaughter you damn heroes, and the system you all keep up. This world refuses to change through peaceful methods. As such, violence is the only answer. That has been left to me. I will force the world to look at the issues that created me and force the world to change. No one helped me when I cried for help. So why should I stop when you all cry for help? No one ever helped me. No one. I was left alone with no one to help me. Even when I wished for people to stand by my side, as I grew up, they turned their backs on me. No one stopped my bullies even when I grew older. As such, I will destroy the current society and create one where everyone is accepted regardless of their differences." Spike cried out. The hero team was stunned in silence. Was this how Izuku really felt? That no one was there for him? That he was alone, even in UA? They then realized that if the video was true, then Bakugo had more or less been bullying Izuku right in front of them, and they did nothing. The hero team thought. Izuku POV. "It seems my mind is starting to break a bit. I truly hope All Might will still stand by me, or I might truly fall into the darkness after this. Though I need to put those thoughts away for now. I need to speed up the mission a bit. Too many heroes are left. Time to remove more of you heroes," I said, and they all paled. I powered up and kicked the ground, resulting in it breaking. Then I punched it, sending rubble at everyone. During this time, I moved up to Shiozaki and slid my knife across her throat. I heard Snipe call her out, but I grabbed her arm and used her body and threw her at Kendo. While Kendo was blocked, I pulled my gun and shot Hananuki several times. Once in the chest, once on the head. This resulted in him being called out. This left 4 Class 1A students and 3 1B students left for a total of 7 hero team members left. I decided to wipe out 2 more from 1B and leave Kendo alive. As everyone was attacking me, as I dodged their attacks, or broke them like Todoroki's ice wall, I grabbed Tsuburaba through his solid air wall, which shocked him. "Not strong enough to block my hits, hero," I said as I grabbed him and slammed him into the ground. I pulled a grenade with some sticky substance on it and placed it on his arm. I then threw Tsuburaba at Awaze, who didn't notice the grenade. Awaze caught Tsuburaba and noticed the grenade. When he did, however, it went off right at that moment, killing them both as Sniped called them out. "Look like there are only 6 of you heroes left. I will leave you all for the last day. I suggest getting some sleep because I will come knocking on your door for a full-out brawl where I will kill you heroes," I said as I turned around and powered OFA up to 40% and bounced away. Teacher POV. The teachers were all silent. They had just witnessed Spite's no Izuku's breakdown in that fight. I'm taking that as his real feeling on how he feels here at UA, isn't it? That he's alone. Combine it with the truth from the video, it would be accurate, wouldn't it? We've left his main bully sit right next to him and be aggressive with him, which just contained the feeling of being unsafe and the teachers not caring. Hound Dog said. The teachers were saddened at this. That feeling only got made a bit worse when every single classmate joined the hero team and none of Izuku's friends joined his team to support him. He felt betrayed and outcast like he was in his old schools. That's why he reacted the way he did in the assembly hall. He was pissed that people who he helped save through dangerous situations would so easily turn their back on him. They might not realize it, but they broke his trust that he had grown with them. He felt like he could rely on them in the future, but they broke that trust when they all left him alone on the villain team. All Might said. Everyone could see how Izuku felt since they now know about his past from the video. We are lucky that you found him the second time, All Might, or a lot of events at UA wouldn't have turned in our favor like the USJ with Azui and Mineta, Lita with the hero killer, Bakugo being saved even though it was reckless. There are so many points that Izuku steps forward and takes charge of his class and leads them to some form of victory before help can arrive to save the day. Nisa said, "It just dawned on the teachers how important Izuku has been to the events at UA. Now they just had to wait for the last day to happen for this event, and they will be able to start helping their students heal from this." Hero Team POV. Guys, we really screwed up, didn't we, when none of us that are friends with Izuku joined him? If that video holds any truth, then what we did was a betrayal to him. Uraraka said, "Everyone left alive could agree with that, and they felt the ones watching from the dead room could likely agree as well. Indeed, Izuku has done so much for a lot of us, and we just left him alone. I'm really wishing that video doesn't hold any truth, but the more I think about it, the more it would explain how Izuku reacted at the start of the year. We sat around and watched Bakugo bully Izuku right in front of us, and we did nothing. What friends we are," Lita stated. None of Izuku's friends were happy. Soon though, Izuku or Spite would be returning for the last day to end everything, and they expected it to be a large show. Dead Team Room. Everyone has been watching as they were killed off. A lot of people were scared of Spite, but as time went along near the end, they could understand where Spite no Izuku was coming from. He was teaching them all lessons. Though he was doing it in a brutal manner, he was doing it for them all to learn. They also needed to apologize and help Izuku at the end of this, most everyone thought, because they saw the bullying that Bakugo was doing and didn't step in to stop it. Bakugo was far too aggressive to be left around Izuku, and nearly every single person in the dead room agreed to keep Bakugo the hell away from Izuku moving forward. One person was still pissed that he had lost. It was Bakugo, of course. How dare he hide this power? He's been looking down on me in all of the training, thought Bakugo. Everyone in the room could see that Bakugo was pissed, and they were all planning to get in his way when the time came. They were all not going to sit around and watch him bully Izuku anymore. So, this was the end of part 2 of this series. Stay tuned for next part of this series, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.